I am now going to do a recap of Bar Your Love episode 4. And I may get stuff out of order. I can't even. How did it even begin? Oh, yeah. Sha and Ping was telling everybody at work, like, look, you my homegirl. She's the boss's daughter. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. Um, and while she was doing that, she started making fun of her supervisor again, and like everybody disappeared. And then Yishin and the boss lady came down to talk to Sha Shili, and I don't even remember. They went to her office to discuss something, but while they was doing so, um, they was going up. Ji Shixing, her brother-in-law, was like, "Oh, congratulations on finding your daughter. I didn't know you had a daughter. What's up?" And boss lady was like, "Well, I didn't want to bother you, bye." And so the brother-in-law was like, "Okay," to the girl, like, "Where's my son at?" And she's like, "He's probably somewhere." She said, "You need to find him." So we are introduced to the character Ji Hao Ying, the player, because it might be better if I call him the player, because it would just to understand, he's with this girl and she's all pouty, that type of stuff, because she gotta leave her man and she don't want to, and he's just like blah blah blah. He does this trick, ooh la ooh la ooh la, bam, here's a pearl. And she falls for it, and he went to go pay for her stuff, and he was like looking at this like shit, how you doing? Yeah, just like looking at her, and I'm like, okay, he's feeling her. And so he goes out with his girlfriend to the car, and she's like, I don't want to leave. He said, well, you gotta go. And she see her head out for a kiss, but he just gave her a kiss on the forehead and left. And what did he do? He goes straight back to that lady, and she was like. He was like, can I get a coat in size 8? And she said size 8, but your girlfriend was a size 6. And he said, shoot, that girl crazy. You know how it is. I can't be letting her know. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. No, don't fall for this thing. And just like, oh, can I see that pearl trick too? No. If you gonna fall for his crap, at least ask for a new magic trick, okay? And so when he was doing it, fell out his head or something. I don't even know. But here comes Shy P, and she crushes it and slips and hits to the ground, and food spills all over him. And shoot, they rocking around in circles like, pack of wolves looking at each other up and down. And he's mad at her. She's mad at him. He's like, you broke my pearl. And she's like, you dropped this food. And they was like, you owe me, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, okay. And she was like, it's $300. And he gave it to her. And then he was like, what about my clothes? Here, I take it, discount $300. And then she goes on and he was like, here, I just give you the money. And she was like, no, it's $500. He was like, what? And so she gave it to him. It might just when she went on and on. So he gave her the money, and he told the lady that he was the lady he was hitting on that she would bring his food back. So she leaves, and it goes to Sha and Ping at Shi Lee's house. Her sister for life. And they're just talking, and they kind of get to have their sad moments, just stuff that growing up as they would do and whatnot. And this is when eventually Ji Ha-ying, the player, he gets home at night. His dad's like, where you been at? And he was like, Dad, well, when I was at in Hong Kong, or he was somewhere overseas. He was like, these pearls ain't selling so well, so maybe I could open them up my own business at the shopping center. And his dad was like, okay, the dad is a brother-in-law. And he's like, okay, you can do that, but don't be putting it under your name, because then, the boss lady, which her name is Ba Ming Lee, but, to pronounce stuff, it's best probably if I just call her boss lady, and, so boss lady can't get no cut. And he said, you're going to have to go to, and he was like, ah, shoot, Dad, you came up with a plan so we can keep all this money for ourselves. And then his dad going on about work. He's like, psh. he got me working all day, every day, like he ain't got no sense. And like I gotta watch my auntie-in-law. And so, something ended up happening. I think his name was Chairman. I don't know, something happened at night, so he committed suicide, and he's blaming the boss lady. And so Laj Lee Wing gets told of this first, the executive assistant. And he's waking up, he's finding out, and he's like, okay, tell the boss lady, blah, blah. He gets there, and they was like, and this dude was like, oh, here's the suicide note that was left that was left behind. And he read it, and next thing his eyes are blinking, and like, the executive assistant's having a all time type of flashback. Dude was like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong with you? And he's like, I don't feel well, so I'm gonna go back home and tell the boss lady that I'm not feeling well. I'm going could I stay home today? So he goes in and leaves. And so when the boss lady and Ji Shin roll up in there, she was like, because she wanted him to go pick up Shy and Ping, and if he needed to take her sister for life, she leaves school. She needs to. And so when he was leaving, he heard that that his homie, the one he went to jail for, prison for 8 years, wasn't feeling well. I'm like, okay, he's gonna go visit it. But next thing the scene was like him and Shy and Ping car, and she was like, I heard that someone killed that stuff and blah blah blah, and committed suicide. Don't they think about the people that leave behind, and while Yishin is driving, he has a flashback of crying, and it was a sad scene. Like, the executive assistant dude was like breaking down. He's like, everybody's gone, and Yishin is comforting him, and so it goes back to Jishin, the present moment, and he's turned back around, so he gonna go see how his homie is. And it's back to his homie, and his homie is thinking about the note. He remembers coming home that day, and the ambulance coming. He's like telling the maid, like, who's that? And he's like, that's Madam and Sir, yeah, Madam and Sir, something like that. And he's like, let go of me. He wanted to go chase after the ambulance with his parents on it, and he goes in and he finds out that his dad, I don't know, it's weird because he said he didn't want to be a burden to him, his family, but the wife, his mama was dead too. And so he's crying and breaking down, and back to the present moment, the executive assistant's like, I'm going to get you bombingly the boss lady, which I should go ahead and mention now before I forget. There was a scene when the night before, when the executive assistant was in his house, he had got the scarf out. It's when I forgot to mention when Shy and Ping and her sister for life were having that discussion. She convinced Shy and Ping to stay the night. Anyway, and that same night, he was looking at the scarf and like smelling it. And I'm like, okay, maybe he feels the girl, whatnot. But then he goes back to the room, and he gets the cake that Shy and Ping drew, and he's remembering, and it's like, okay, what? And he opens up this box to put it in there. He sees this picture of there, and it seems to be Yishin's sister. But I don't know, I feel like he calls her family too, or whatever. So he puts it back. He's like, and then he's looking at the scarf again. It's like, my plans has changed. So anyway, back to executive assistants with after his memories of seeing his dad's suicide note. And he's like, I'm going to get you, boss lady. And it's kind of like, oh, because, Shy and Ping's sister for life. Because, I'm not good with pronunciations. Sheely. Like, oh, that's where that comes in. That is where that comes in. And he's going to try to get with her and do something to get back to the boss lady. So, and then as out the door, you can hear music, and Shy and Ping and Yishin trying to get into his house, but he wouldn't let them in, so, they leave. And, there was a scene the next day. I think it was the next day. Her sister for life, Sha Shi was, walking in the shopping center, and actually it might have been the same day, but anyway, she was walking in the shopping center with the food, and bam, she runs into somebody who happens to be the player. And he was, he looking at her like, "Shit, you can have your food all over me." And she was like, "What?" And he was like, "Oh, sorry, I almost spilled your food." And he tried to get her down. You could tell she was not feeling his game at all. And he did that same dumb pearl trick to her, and she was looking at him like, yeah, and then bam, here comes Shy and Pigs picking up the pearl. He's like, what, and then she stepped on, like, bam, here's a pencil for you to study somewhere. And then she said, bam, here's an eraser for you to erase those 30 dots that's in your head. And, so she was showing him magic tricks. His eyes were like being like, okay, look, you supposed to be the magician, you over here getting schooled. And so they leave him behind in the dust. They just leave him behind, and they go into the boss lady's office, and she's not feeling it. She's like, I don't like people doing stuff, without my permission, without me knowing it ahead of time. And Sean Pink's like, look, she heard that you didn't eat this morning. She felt worried about you, blah blah blah, and this and that, and during that time, the boss lady moved something off after Shy and Pink put the lunch down, and it hit the floor. And Yishin by this time is in the office too with them. And finally, Shy and Pink finally convinced her, that you should care for family. So they were about to Yishin was like, go get the food, and she brings the food back, and she's going on and on, and it's weird, because, the boss lady is actually listening to her, and she ends up slipping out her mouth that the player was trying to school them, and then all of a sudden, she's yelling at them, saying, y'all both better stay away from him, and it's like, okay, she made it just awkward, and so, nobody really was happy, they don't eat no lunch, and so, they eating, and anyway, I think it happened to be the next day, Shy and Ping and her sister for life are walking. Her sister for life wanted to go because they want to go shopping. Well, they get to this window, and Shy and Ping remembers her buying the tie for her wannabe boo, executive assistant. And she tells her sister for life that he wasn't feeling one. She's like, let's go to his house. And first, Shy and Ping wants to confused at first where his house was, like she was pretty much sure, and they was going, and here comes the gangster that try to kill them. And Shy Ping is a good sister, good friend, I don't know what you want to call her, but she actually did step in front of Shy Shi Lee. I'm not gonna say she about to step in front when he really came running at them with the knife, but somehow something happened when he plunged at them. Feet got tangled in something, and Shy Ping landed on her hand or something, and like she got knocked out. And then here her sister for life over here, and he got the knife, and then stop, and that's executive assistant. He's ready to save his boo, the sister for life girl, and he's like, blah blah blah, get away, and it's, the gangster was like, shoot, I remember you, I will remember you, you remember that, and he picks the sister for life up. He's like, are you okay? And then bam, the gangster came back and stabbed him. I was like, wow. So they're at the hospital, and the boss lady and Yishin is running out, because they see Shy and Ping and Sha Shi Lee, the sister for life, out there waiting. And hold up, boss lady's all feeling on Shy and Ping, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And Shy and Ping feel all uncomfortable. I'm like, look, I'm okay, but hello, check your daughter. And she's like, oh yes, and pick her up. And then, her sister for life started wheezing, and so Shy and Ping got a bag for her and told her to breathe. And then, both like, why you telling me about this for? You ain't known them that long to know about the health things. And she's like, it was just pneumonia, and she ain't never had current thing, but she must be scared. She is, he watching everything, Jishin is the bodyguard for the boss lady, the one that saved her and got all tangled up with Shy and Ping, him shot naked on top of him, and things like that. So, they were, And the sister-in-law wanted to stay, but her Sean Pink was like, did I say the sister for life wanted to stay? I can't even remember. And Sean Pink said, no, you should go home and rest. And then Yishin was like, no, you need to go home and rest too. And then the boss lady was like, how about y'all all rest? Because Yishin said he'll come right back. So Yishin takes her home. The boss lady is taking her sister for life home, and Yishin's taking her home. He's like, let me see your phone. She's like, why? You need to see my phone. And he's like, but put your number in. He put his phone number in, and he was like, this is if you in time in dangerous, to call me. So she's like saying, so if I press 1 and call you, you gonna come save me? And he was like, yeah. She was like, you ain't Superman. And so she gets out of the car, and he like sucks his head out and said, don't put your hand in the water, because it's her hand that got messed up. Don't put your hand in the water. And he said, I'll take you to the hospital tomorrow. And he goes back to the scene with executive assistant in the hospital, and somebody coming in his room, and they talking, and it's the gangster dude. And I'm like, wow, he got some nerve showing up in the hospital room too. And then they started talking, and look, a couple more sentences. The executive assistant sets it up. All I know was, and come to find out, it was all set up. And he was like, if you would have won another one, you would have killed me. He's like, we got to make it real so they could know. And I'm like, this dude is dirty. Like, I couldn't process in my mind. He set it up to trick them up and everything. And then they hear Yishin out the hospital room. And so the dude had to go out to the balcony, which he got locked out because Yishin saw it open and closed. And, and Yishin started thinking, like, when they found out about Chairman he dying, she was like, go take, Shy and Ping to work. And about the sister for life. And then he remembers the scene where she was talking about the player and how she said both of y'all can't see him. And then he remembered right at the hospital recently, she ran up to her first, and it all made sense. And they didn't say it, but it's like, duh, Sha and Ping is her daughter. And this is so wrong, and I feel so bad for the sister for life. I mean, the executive assistant's about to play her like a fiddle, and then her no good, not really mama is playing her. Not even her mama. I'm like, she's so lucky she got shot on Ping, a sister, a sister for life. And he wakes, anyway, the executive assistant wakes up, and, he shouldn't tell him what's going on. And then he goes back to the boss lady's house, and Shashi Lee, the sister for life was like, I know this is too much to ask, but, could Sean Ping stay with us? And she was like, yeah. And the next day, Sean Ping was waking up with a hurt hand and doing stuff. And she had a sad moment where she remembers she remembers the times being with her sister for life. And then she hears the voices. She thinks she's imagining it. Comes to find out, it really is her sister for life knocking at the door, and she's going in and start packing stuff. At first she was like, oh, we got stuff to do today. She's like, oh, you want to go see your boo? And her sister for life was smile. She said, no, first we're gonna handle business. We got business to handle. And she's like, what? And she's like, you moving in? She said, well, I don't know about that. And it was like, so it kind of ends with her saying, what, you don't like my mom? And that is how it ended. It was a good episode. It was. And it was a good episode. It was a good episode. And that's it.